Hey y'all, it's Amy. Welcome back to Called to Be Different, Reflecting Christ. Today we are going to be talking about slavery in the Bible. When I was first becoming a Christian, I heard this a lot. So many atheists or anti-Christians would talk about how God approves slavery in the Bible. So I want to talk about this because I think it could be super helpful if you guys don't understand where this comes from or how to answer this to somebody who actually brings up this argument. So first and foremost, we need to understand that there are two different types of slavery in the Bible, okay? The first type of slavery is the kind that we probably think of when we think of slavery and the word slavery, which is a bondage, forced labor slavery. This is kind of what we understand from Americans, especially, is that, people were taken against their will and forced to work for somebody else. They had no rights, okay? And so this is a different type of slavery. Now, the Israelites were actually in this kind of slavery in Egypt. God says that they were in bondage because they were forced to work for the Egyptians, and the Egyptians did not treat them well at all. And in order for them to actually leave Egypt, the Pharaoh had to give them permission. He had to allow them to leave. Okay, so there's another type of slavery that's in the Bible, and this is a servitude slavery. This is something that God actually sets up and tells them that this is a good kind of slavery. It was a slavery that maybe if somebody didn't have a house or was in debt to you, that they could pay you back by living with you and being your slave. It wasn't an aggressive, this slave needs to be beat and treated against their will. In fact, God later on gives them a law that says every so often, every so many years, you need to forgive this person of all their debt and let them go. And this person has a right. If they want to stay with you, they may stay with you. So there was a reason for this. This was because God was making a system of justice. How do I help my neighbor? How do I care for someone who is in need? One of the ways I can do this is by actually taking care of them when they need help. So if I'm homeless, then maybe I can go to my neighbor and say, hey, I don't have a house and I will work for you. Please just take care of me. And God is actually setting up laws and rules for what to do when something goes wrong with the slave. Now, just because there is a law or a rule does not mean that it's approved on what happened. Instead, what God is trying to do is show what justice they should give for that particular crime. So we do this today. For example, we have laws from our government. So if I steal something, then I have to pay for that crime, right? Maybe that's paying something back. Maybe that's some kind of servitude where I have to, go and clean up the streets, or maybe I have to go to jail or something. I have to pay back time for whatever I've stolen. We also do this with our kids. If my son hits my daughter, then when my son hits my daughter, that doesn't mean I approved him hitting my daughter, but I tell him, this is the justice you owe her. Go give her a hug and say that you're sorry. And so I am fully aware that if my son does this, this is the kind of justice he should be giving her. And I can teach my kids this, right? And so this is exactly what God is trying to do. He's trying to teach them that if this happens, this is the kind of justice you should be looking for. Right after God is teaching them about slavery and what to do with slaves in certain situations, then he goes into talking about eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, which a lot of people take as, if you hit me, I can hit you. Now, that's not necessarily wrong in the sense of, yes, you can give due justice. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is they came from a culture in Egypt where vengeance was more popular than justice, okay? So maybe if I killed you, you would kill my entire family. That would not be justice. That would be vengeance. You're trying to pay me back threefold rather than get justice, which is a right payment towards what was wrongfully done. So God is just simply trying to teach them about justice. And he's saying, if something happens, you do not go above and beyond whatever that is. So if somebody kills a family member, then yes, you have a right. We still hold to this in our government today, and we don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, some people do see things wrong with it, but it is rightful that if somebody like Ted Bundy is out murdering people, it's rightful for us to give him the sentence of death. Now, does that mean we go to Ted Bundy and all of his friends or family, we go and kill them all? No, that's vengeance. But what we do is we pay Ted Bundy with the rightful justice that he has brought upon himself. And so God is just trying to teach us. And during these laws, they kind of don't really make a lot of sense, and it seems really confusing. But really, God is being a good God, and he's trying to set up and help them understand that if something goes awry, you can give due justice, okay? But that doesn't mean that you seek vengeance. That's the complete opposite of who God is. He's not vengeful, he's just. And when he judges, it is rightfully so. I hope that helps. I hope you guys can at least be able to defend when you hear somebody talk about this, because I don't know, for me, for the longest time, I didn't understand this, and it was one of those things where I was like, please don't ask me this question because I don't know what to say to you. But now you know what to say, and I hope that that will help you in the future. All right, see you guys in the next video.